I've been interested in pottery like as a concept, and I've been seeing a lot of videos of people making pottery. I think ceramics are really cool. I don't have access to a ceramic studio, so I'm just gonna have to do this digitally. At first I was gonna make a pottery brand, and guys, I went so far down this rabbit hole. Like, I was actually doing it, I was doing like the competitor analysis, like all this different stuff, and it was giving Canva. Like, it was giving Canva, which made me kind of sad. So then I was like, we're gonna scrap it, we're gonna start over. I'm feeling a lot better about this new kind of direction here. It's a bit like meta because it's like, okay, it's a physical piece of art, but I made it in Blender, so it's still digital because I can't make anything in the real world. So we are gonna jump into Blender now and make a little bit of pottery. So I started by importing my reference images. I really liked this ceramicist Carl Schmidt. He was working at the end of the 19th century. And what I did was I just made a curve and I traced these references for the shapes that I wanted. And you're making like kind of this, I guess, silhouette of the pot itself. And yeah, I just adjusted it using like the curve tool in Blender. And then I had kind of the shape of my pot. You could do whatever shape you want, obviously. Then we're gonna use a screw modifier, and that creates an actual 360 object using that line. So yeah, it looks really good. And then like I upped the subdivisions on that basically, and then converted that to a mesh. I just like applying my modifiers and converting everything right away. I don't know if that's what you're meant to do or not. So I converted that to a mesh, and then I added a solidify modifier to give the plane some thickness. And then I added a subdivision. And this is just me doing it on another pot as well. So then I went in and I did some texture painting. I wanted them to be kind of dark and moody because I was gonna overlay some imagery over top of that. But yeah, I just went in and texture painted, and then I smudged everything to make it like smeared out. And I did this with the roughness pretty high, and then I went back and turned the roughness down, just because when the roughness is down and it's really smooth and shiny, it looks a lot better, and you also can't like really see the color that clearly just due to the light reflections. But yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of a gradient with the actual object. For the imagery that I chose for this, okay, I love like slop as ephemera. This is kind of something I've been into lately. So obviously like AI slop is overrunning the internet. And particularly on Facebook, there's like these fuck ass AI flowers and people like selling seeds. So one of them is these like cat seeds. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Anyways, yeah, one of them is this like cat seeds, and then there's this trend of like people making posts about flowers, being like, this is the like bat orchid, and bat orchids exist, but they're just showing like a fake like AI slop image of a bat orchid. Anyways, I just thought it was funny. So I wanted to use images of these like AI flowers for the pot themselves, and to actually like put that onto the pot, almost as if it was an image transfer or some sort of like a screen printing and then like a spray painting. I don't know much about ceramics, guys. I was just kind of making this up. But yeah, if you could image transfer onto a pot. So that's why you'll see I made it into a halftone. But yeah, I just think that slop is really interesting as kind of these pieces of digital ephemera and assets to use. That's why I hate generating stuff myself. Like, I don't want to generate stuff myself. I want to use things that are already existed and already generated, because I just think it's so funny that these become like kind of iconic images. Like this one image of the cat flowers are all over the place, and there's news reports because basically they're selling fake cat flowers. It's also interesting to have like a fake flower depicted on a pot which will hold real flowers. However, this is all digital, so it's all fake anyway, so it's kind of like the real and the fake. So like I said before, I wanted to get halftones of these flowers, so I just went on halftonemaker.com. Guys, just Google whatever you want, okay? I went on halftonemaker.com and then I imported my images and just played around with all the different settings, because doing that in Photoshop is like really annoying for me, and it's hard to get like a transparent background. Maybe I'm a pleb because I'm not a huge Photoshop user, but whatever. So yeah, I just messed around with it, inverted it, because what I wanted was for the black parts to be like the ink, so then in the background would kind of fade into the pot itself and look like it was kind of a seamless transfer. So what I did was I took this into Photoshop and I kind of tried to blur and feather the edges of the image just so that it wouldn't have these sharp kind of corners and sharp lines of a square image. And that way it would be feathered out, it would be a bit blurred out, and then it would be pretty seamless on the pot itself, which of course is a three-dimensional curved object. It just wouldn't look that good if there was a sharp edge on it, right? Once that editing was done, I imported those images as a plane into Blender, and then I shrink wrapped them to the pots. Just subdivided it, shrink wrapped it, and manipulated a bit so that it would work. And I also added a metallic texture onto them. So it would have a cool kind of reflective surface. And what I wanted, as you can see, is there to be a lot of, you know, negative space so you can see the colors of the pot underneath, and it kind of has a little bit of a blend to it. It's not exactly a very clear image. So then I just played around with the angles of how I was gonna render this out, and originally I was gonna use these 3D flowers that are just from Polycam, like these 3D scans of flowers, but I decided to make the pots just their standalone like piece of art. And yeah, I just rendered out the images for this, and I'll show you guys the final results now, but I hope you enjoyed watching, and like and subscribe!